Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Natawa Corporation. I am your host, Indigenous Her, and we're just going to jump right in and get started. So, tonight, I'd like to speak with y'all about a few different topics, but let me just go over the admin portion of this beautiful podcast first. So, I got to hit you with that copyright disclaimer. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of fair favor of fair use. Now that we got that part out of the way, we can continue. So, as you guys know, I've been a little bit absent over the last week. Just got a little allergic reaction thing going on. So, I got my avatar up today. But yeah, so my flyer has "We the People." So, "We the People" means we the people are trying to be on code with whatever looks right. We're also going to discuss local, national, and international news. And then I got my community Black hero highlights today. To add on to that, we got the enter, under, overstand, body, mind, and soul. We usually are streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, and some Sundays, but schedules will adjust accordingly. And if you know anybody that is a musician, an artist, singer, poets, please let us know. We would love to hear what they got, their talents. And let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. One second. Zero tolerance. So y'all go ahead and put in the chat there, this is a big November golf. And it sounds like they need to move some of that police force money over to the teachers and be giving these teachers some increases to have to come to school with all this level of violence. These children are supposed to be respecting these teachers, respect your elders. You know, it's this is not the way to go. I don't know if they even put in any kind of implemented any level of structure for situations like that. Here's another one that happened just 3 days ago. This one doesn't have any volume to it, but just take a look. And this is simply because I guess the teacher took his Nintendo Switch. What is he doing in school with a Nintendo Switch to begin with? What is that? My goodness. That one over there, she pointing. How do you get that big bear off this lady? You know, what's good for the goat is good for the duck too. So at the end of the day, you know, mm-mm. Everybody in here looking like they're moving really slow, but that is not the way ahead. Very lackadaisical. The girl is unconscious. Give her some breathing room, some space. Get her to somewhere. Like all the men up there, all of. Hmm. But like I said, this video right here doesn't have any volume to it because it's a school. But like I said, this video right here doesn't have any volume to it because it's a school camera. Wow. Okay. So there you have it, guys, for our breaking news. But I'd like to know what y'all think about this and what are we teaching our kids at home? I mean, the Nintendo Switch shouldn't even be in the schoolhouse. Hmm. Very pondering. So please put in the chat what you guys thoughts about that, and then what's the solutions? What are the solutions that we have for this? It looks like we have a caller here. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, I like to say a couple of things about the situation. I did not like, you know, the visuals of that situation, even though the child did what he did. I like to know what, I really didn't care what was going on. But at the same time, there's no excuse for putting your hands on your adult. And that needs to be taught at the house. There's nothing that you can teach at in school, especially when you're worried about sexual things and things like that. And, you know, not really training the child in history. So therefore, you know, correct parenting if there's ever such a thing to do, goes with, you know, you have to teach a child something and discipline. And not me, you know, my bad is separate the gender, teach them accordingly to put them together correctly.
You say separation of genders. Could you expound on that?
Meaning, you know, a lot of the negative traits that young females, especially in the African American community, how do you put it, you know, they display is because of actions taught in action twisted, so attitude twisted, you know, sexuality twisted, and just the wrong frame of mind on so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to focus on your ABCs and one, two, threes.
Focusing on that Nintendo Switch, huh?
Worry about this, that, and third. So we need more of an initiative program for families.
What I see there in this young man is a lot of anger and a lot of rage. I've never seen somebody fly across the room so quickly, that big, just for a Nintendo Switch, for something that he possibly would have gotten back by the end of the school day.
At the end of the day, you got to think too. These children are being, brainwashed, and that's why I said a lot of this stuff coming out. You got to learn to phone time, learn more of the arcade games or video games, period, and just learn to communicate. Talk to each other.
Yes, communication is key.
The same as acquire a phone in the game. So.
Also, I feel well, over time it seemed like now the hiring rules or the hiring standard has just dropped to zip to nothing. Anybody is a teacher, just like any and everybody is a safety officer, right? But at the same time, the skill set and the way to deal with a child as it pertains to incentives and disciplinary actions, I don't see it happening here. I see a handful of men and a handful of women. That's a total of 10 folks. And it's just, it doesn't look like anyone is in any dire need or of true care of what took place and what needs to happen next. No one looks like they know the protocol.
Well, that's because, like I said again, children doesn't have the same discipline they used to. Even with these children, you might get them something to do, but they don't have they don't have the idea of what go around is, or what needs to be done, or how you need to carry yourself, or those principles, and so they have, different things going on in their house, whether it's single motherhood or lesbianism or even other things that are, so much, abnormal situations today that when you put these people involved in so many, even obesity, you think about it, kid is big, obesity is type of child abuse almost. You let a child get bigger and all his peers and you as a parent can do different, but notice that a lot of bigger females, they figure I let my child be big too, but you can change that just by.
I can tell you where this kind of began. And I'm gonna tell you, you may not agree with me, but the minute, like, I used to get beaten. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, you act up, you get a beating, and you move about your business, go about your way. You receive it, you accept it, and it is what it is. But now you can't even touch a child, which is cool and all. But if they had just stopped with the nonsense with having kids call 911. I remember, watching Medea from time to time, and it's, you wouldn't even to be able to dial the number 9. So it's kind of like, when your child is growing up and the parent has all these rules against what they can and cannot do, and they adhere to it, of course. There's a statement in the Bible. What is it? Spare the child, or something with the rod and the child. But at the same time, it's disturbing to know that these kids has no level, no authority. Nobody can tell them nothing. They think they're adults as well because they never got a chance to feel what a lash feel like.
Well, you got to also understand that only comes from single parent households. That only happens in single parent households. Those people that have a healthy relationship or in a healthy marriage, especially in a healthy marriage, None of them. Those things that you said you apply.
Yeah, because I'm all for speaking with a child, sitting them down, speaking with them, installing certain incentives and installing certain disciplinary actions that does not pertain to lash or hitting or so, but to what extent? Because that's a lot of anger right there. Something is going on more in this child's life at this moment that he had to just go completely bare on this lady. So
But even still, for a young man who has not a father figure, or even if he had a father figure, a weak male or some type of non-male to even have that identity to jump and attack a woman, not so restrained. That comes from an undisciplined household. Even if, especially elderly women or women of principle at this time.
Yeah. She knocked her unconscious. The other lady broke her leg. She broke her leg. I don't know what's the average going rate for teachers right now, but they need to switch over some of that police money over to teachers and teachers' assistants.
I didn't hear a lot of the video because I couldn't hear it, but what I did see, like I said, even with, but like I said, I wouldn't necessarily give the police. I mean, the teachers still. You need more proof. You can't give the teachers grades, yes. Child needs more programs other than software to look at in the house. Right. So you have to think, how can we promote a healthy community almost? And even in that state, right? You have so many different things against you for not conforming. So you have a brother or a sister at a wedlock, and it's just hard to do. So you got one giving. So like I said again, it goes to the parents. So we need more incentives for males. We have nothing.
Yeah. I see a lot of women empowerment, and I'm all for it. But you're right. We do need some male incentives. I remember back in the days, we used to have to wear our uniforms, and I see them brothers coming there with they shirt tucked in, they tie on right. They got their little Jersey boy sweater, and they creasing their pants and they shoes shine. That's what it was about. But now you come in there, baggy pants, baggy jeans, some sneakers, and just whatever, and just is what it is. I'm here, present.
Like I said again, that's what comes to separate the genders. When you separate the genders, you already uniform them just off that alone. The uniform comes in later on with the integrity of the school or what we promoting.
Okay, with that being said, I'm glad. Stay on, caller, because at this moment we're gonna turn over to we the people on code. So I found this little thing that I wanted to share, and I'm just gonna speak it out. So we the people on code. Never shake a man's hand sitting down. Don't enter a pool by the stairs. Why is that, James? Why do you never shake a man's hand sitting down? I mean, caller.
Number one, I think never shake a man's hand sit down unless you're handicapped. First of all, shows a sign of no backbone and a sign of not caring. It's like it's almost a slap in the face.
Right.
So you address me standing up, or you don't address me at all. And if you do address me standing up, we hand in hand.
Okay. The man at the barbecue grill is the closest thing to a king. In a negotiation, never make the first offer. So I'm gonna say that again. In a negotiation, never make the first offer. So whether you're going in for your job or any contractual agreements, allow the other party to make the first offer, and then you go ahead and lowball it from there or highball. Request the late checkout, for real, yeah, because checkout could be at 11, but then again, you could get it the 1. When entrusted with a secret, keep it. That's something that we could just got loose lips. So we the people on code, when entrusted with a secret, keep it. Hold your heroes to a higher standard. Return a borrowed car with a full tank of gas. Play with passion or don't play at all. When shaking hands, grip firmly and look them in the eye. I know you had something to say about that because you always say that. Don't let a wishbone grow where a backbone should be. We the people on code. If you need music on the beach, you're missing the point. Carry 2 handkerchiefs. The one in your back pocket is for you, the one in your breast pocket is for her. You marry the girl, you marry her family. Be like a duck. Remain calm on the surface and paddle like crazy underneath. Experience the serenity of traveling alone. Never be afraid to ask out the best looking girl in the room. Never turn down a breath mint. A sport coat is worth 1,000 words. Try write your own eulogy. Never stop revising. Because you don't want nobody writing it for you. Don't tell my story because I'm gonna tell my story for me. Thank a veteran, then make it up to him. Eat lunch with the new kid. After writing an angry email, read it carefully, then delete it. Ask your mom to play. She won't let you win. Manners maketh the man. So that goes back to the respecting, you know. Manners maketh the man. Give credit when credit is due and take the blame when you know you in the wrong. Stand up to bullies, protect those bullied. Write down your dreams. We talked about that last week. Write down your dreams. Be confident and humble at the same time. If ever in doubt, remember whose son you are and refuse to just be ordinary. In all things, lead by example, not explanation, and dress how you want to be addressed. Be blessed by being a blessing. So that is We the People on Code. So I'm going to go ahead, before I get into my next video, let me try to. At this time, I want to go ahead and push out my Black Business Hero highlight. My Black Business Hero highlight this week is by Mrs. Kendra Wheeler, owner and founder of JourneySoapBar, right here in South Carolina. Kendra Wheeler, woo woo! She got some exciting stuff coming up on March the 10th. But let me tell you a little bit about her products. Journey Soap Bar products are skin friendly, non irritant products. Journey Soap Bar was founded in 2020 and carries an assortment of body products ranging from moisturizers, soaps, creams, gift sets, scrubs, and much more to include a home collection. She got a home collection which includes candles, rugs, carpet refresheners, and products for your car, girl and guys. Also, her products are pet friendly. So please go ahead and visit her website. It's journeysoapbar.com. And it looked like Journey Soap Bar is who is taking Bed Bath and Beyond out of business. All right now. But yes, Mrs. Wheeler will be having her grand opening March 10th at 12 p.m., located at the Bows and Bellas Boutique, 124 East Carolina Avenue, Hartsville, South Carolina, 29550. I'll say it again. Mrs. Wheeler will be having her grand opening March 10th. This March 10th, that's like 10 days from today, because today's the last day of February at 12 p.m., located at the Bows and Bellas Boutique, 124 East Carolina Avenue, Hartsville, South Carolina, 29550. She's introducing new products. She got lots of door prizes and refreshments. Shout out to Mrs. Kendra Wheeler. I'll see you out there. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you visit her website. She got a lot of good stuff on there. She got this one moisturizer called Blaze, and my husband, we have a beard oil, but she also have a beard oil. So we swap beard oils, and guess what? We love them all. We love them all. So shout out to my girl because she is just making moves. She's in Walmart. She's in stores in different locations. So I'm very very proud of you, Mrs. Kendra Wheeler, and I'll see you on March the 10th. All right. Mm-hmm. Love it. Got to love it. Got to love it. Got to love it. We got to celebrate each other, my business people. Celebrate each other and buy from each other. Black History Month is over with, but we still gonna continue to go hard. All right. So what I'm gonna play here is someone sent me this and told me to play this during my next podcast. So it's very controversial, and I'm gonna just go ahead and make it do what it do. Let me make sure I got the volume on here correctly. Let me start that over. I hope it starts over right. Yeah, so I had to play that, twice because I was trying to really capture what they were saying because it seems like they have like three three men having this conversation, and the question is being a single woman more lucrative than being in a relationship? And someone sent this to me, and I was just like, okay. They always used to say, two heads is better than one, but then the other one started saying something about selling sex. And so I was just like, what? I didn't get that. And I guess it wasn't for me to get because I don't know what that is about. But, what is that? A couple hundreds, a couple thousands? I don't understand that part. But anyway, two incomes and two heads is better than one. And then the other one is making a comparison about happy versus making money. So we're not talking about happiness. We're talking about just the ability to make that bread. And then the other one goes to say a man won't help open more doors for a woman, vice as opposed to vice versa. And so it just was very interesting to see, these three black men, have this conversation. But the last one with the cream sweater, he sounded like he got his head on straight with what was going on because there are some pretty powerful couples, married or unmarried, um, two heads is better than one, in investments, certain different type of links, you know, and God will bless the pair, the yoke. And the hustle is twice as strong. So does anybody have any comments on that? Go ahead and comment on the chat, or call in and tell me what you think.
I have a comment right now.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think a lot of people fail to understand what man truly seeks and what woman truly seeks. So if one finds one and the other finds another, depends on the society and what they're doing in that society determines their pursuit of happiness.
Okay. So it depends on where they're at in their chase of the funding will determine the pursuit of happiness. Because it can be, like you mentioned earlier, a woman could be a judge. She can be a very high ranking person and who, hold on, it seems like we got another caller, so 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Am I calling drop off? Hmm. Hey, caller, you are on live.
Hey.
Yes. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm good. This is Tamika. How y'all?
Hey, Tamika. Woo woo. So we having this conversation here. Is being a single woman more lucrative than being in a relationship?
No, I don't think it is. And I'll tell you why. Because I think two together is more lucrative. I mean, being by yourself, how's that more lucrative?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I'm trying to figure out, someone mentioned earlier about if a woman was like a judge or a high ranking person in society, then she is literally making all her funds. So it's just more lucrative because she ain't got to spend it nowhere. But if you got a man and a woman come together, they can, instead of putting both their names on the house, one can put the name on one house, the other one can put the name on the other house, just flip it so that it's with the deed process, and they can own and maneuver multiple homes as opposed to that one person. Go ahead.
Okay, that's true. I believe in that because you don't want to. The thing is, you don't want to use up all your debt to income ratio by putting your name on everything.
That part.
You want to at least have some free revenue that you can maneuver some things. You want to put your name on the right thing. The car can go on the husband and free him up with some residual income where you can be able to get some other things.
Exactly. So, Tamika, you just mentioned debt to income ratio, and I'm going to go ahead and mention return on investment. It doubles down, so and up. So it's kind of like how could that be? I don't know. I think the young man in the cream sweater, he's onto something, but the one in the middle, I don't know. Well, that's good. Were you able to see the videos earlier with the kids beating up the teachers?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't able to see that earlier.
Okay, so we're gonna hold on. Let me see if do you have any information on how this young lady should deal with her situation. So what we're going to jump into now, guys, is something called the Indigenous Her Letter. So the Indigenous Her Letter is an anonymous letter from anyone, anywhere, and it's about a Black business. So I'm gonna read it to you, and you tell me how you would deal with this, Meek. This anonymous letter came to me. It's a story of a Black business who has entrusted another Black business owner as a partner who has signed on as a partner, legally binding them, I said, as partners, and responsible for a facility or a structure, a building structure. They signed a new lease together 2 months ago. The business partner has only paid $200 towards the light bill. It is now going on the third month, and the energy has gotten real off between the two. What should the original owner of the facility do, and how can she handle this?
You want me to start by answering?
I got multiple choice, but if you want to freestyle it, go ahead.
Okay, so number one, the original business owner did it all wrong because she should have had contracts in place, because if you're going to go in business together, there always needs to be contracts so you don't have a misunderstanding of what is to be expected. Now, how she can go about fixing this is that there needs to be a meeting between the two, and there needs to definitely be contracts put in place from here on out. Because since there has only been paid $200, that's unacceptable, because bills have to be paid before you start getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's just business. So they started out doing that all wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because
ma'am.
in business, you got legal. You got to have something to go to court, because it can't be a hearsay or take my word on something. I got to have paper contract.
Good stuff. So my the multiple choice that I put here was take ownership of all items in the store to include the other business owner's items until she make payment. B, call it a loss and have him or her move on with everything they came with. C, it is 2023, new year, new me. Take it to the courts. Or D, talk with the lady and give her time to come up with the funds. Please explain.
Well, first of all, it's going on the third month. She's had time to come up with the funds. So
That part.
D would be scratched out. Okay,
Right.
so C would be, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So you have no contract, so what can you prove? It's basically your word against mine, so scratch that one out. And then B, I'm trying to remember what B was, because I just got lost all up in the sauce of C and D. So tell me what B was again.
Call it a loss and have him or her move on with everything they came with.
Now you can call it a loss. You can't call it a loss, being it's going on the third month. You can do that, and this would teach you that from now on you need to have contracts in place. So that's a good one. Go ahead and call it a loss. Go on and get her out, but you cannot hold her items hostage, because
there was a
hostage.
There was a lease agreement. There is a lease agreement.
Okay, so then you can't hold her items hostage, because that would be unlawfully lockout thing, like a lockout clause. So you can't do that, because then you're willfully holding somebody items that has entitlement to be there. So now you have a whole nother law. You're going into something else legally. So just cut your losses and just tell her, hey, you know what? You haven't paid any money, and the expectation was that you would do blase, and so just cut your losses before getting even worse.
Okay. I think you probably took a little legal class recently or something. That's what's up. No, because I didn't not that I didn't know. It's just more like the words in which you put it. I was like, you know what? Shoot, keep everything until she pay that money. But like you say, it can become more than what it is that we put out there. So that would be the more suitable thing to do is go ahead, let her take her things, either call it a loss or take that lease to court and fight it in some way, shape, or form. So we have to learn as people to have better fights, have better arguments, have better level of communication with each other. And so acting like ratchet pony is not what's gonna make things better. It's actually gonna make things worse. And that's what leads to the different types of crimes and violences that's going on out here. So definitely go with what Meek said because yeah, it's take it to court or call it a loss.
Yes. And educating yourself as a business person before you go into something, you need to educate yourself to the laws in your own area so you will understand before taking into a business partnership with somebody. So you'll know what to expect and you'll know that you dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's
that
before
part,
you even get to the situation.
Because when you register that business in that state, if it's a partnership, then both of y'all should be in that on that registration. Both of y'all should be on that accounting record. Both of y'all should be on every piece of paper at that point. But it just seems like this was a situation where she was just trying to bring the person on and teach them a few things. But they signed the lease saying that they will bring their stuff in and they'll go half and half. If 30 days has passed and you ain't saying nothing, okay. And mind you, in this situation, the person is actually making money and selling their items, but not handling their priorities ahead of time. So that's crazy.
Where's the swipe machine? Where's the if you're selling items, should you have an account together, a joint account if it's a partnership? Because if all else fails, they're going to come after both of you for the money if the business fails, right?
Ma'am.
All that's got to be talked about. See, it's a lot in going in a partnership versus being sole proprietorship.
What's that? Oh, was that able? Okay. So this one is we're gonna move on to the tax question of the hour because I know we're getting ready to file our taxes and everything. And there, after you complete your taxes every year, there's this one question that never fails. This question is: would you like to send some money to the next presidential campaign? Don't donate some money to the next presidential campaign. And so my thing is it possible to place that question where would you like to input some money into the reparation bowl? How can we get that question out there?
Somebody answer first. Somebody else beside me. I got some good stuff.
Listen, hold on 1 second, Meek. But put in the chat at the tax question, do you want to donate some money to the presidential campaign? Is it possible to see or to get the survey results for those who may want to place some money into the reparations campaign, into the reparations bowl? You know, what is that going to look like? Is that possible? Because that's another good way to get the statistics and to get the data and to get the true people's thoughts. Because you're going to get most of the people, the taxpayers' dollars, right? So it's the tax. We are the taxpayers. We are doing our taxes. That would be another question underneath that presidential campaign question. I was just thinking, maybe. I don't know. All right. So moving on. Let's see. Hey, sir. So, what are your thoughts about what I just said about placing that question into the questionnaire box when we finish off our taxes?
We'll repeat that again.
When we complete our taxes, there is a question that says that would you like to donate $3 towards the presidential campaign? $3 or more, something like that. It said. Now, is it possible to put a question as would you like to donate hold on. Let me merge.
I get what you're trying to say. I think that should be a question,
Would you
a question and answer.
would you like to donate funds to the Black reparations campaign? Because that would be the next best place to put that question to gain the results of who all you know wants to actually give or wants to vote for that. This is the taxes we're doing, so the taxpayers dollars, so why not?
Well, first of all, it's not taxpayer dollars. Second of all, it's an old debt, and it's something that is not a vote. So it's something that does not have to do with a vote. It's not a tax. It's a bond that's been broken long ago that's been needed paid. But as far as that goes, that's, do I think there should be questions? Yeah, I think there should be questions, as far as something else, but not as far as should be paid. That's something dealing with the government and the people, and in particular people who this land was founded on.
Right.
So it's a touchy subject, but
it is.
Put on display.
But that is, like you just said, something that needs to be put on display. But that would be the most visible place outside of the question directly asked to put it, because everybody's doing their taxes at that point.
Can I interject?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my comment would be, the Indians got their money for having their land taken away, correct? They have reservations, they have all this.
I'm not trying to cut you off, but I did want to say, that's only for what they call $5 Indian. Those are not even really native to the country. Those are, a lot of people don't know that native in the first place was like a Democratic Party, where the party put out for, obviously the Democrat Republic, there was native, things like that. So those are basically white people who were living here at the time, but not living here. They were the conquerors of certain other people and was against other white people coming in. So they adopted the black man and the red man. What I say red man, I'm talking about the light skinned black man and the dark skinned black man, the copper colored Indian. That's where the whole term came from. Those are the same people who they identify today with as niggers or Negroes, Black Americans. Those are the same people. So it's just broken up, and most people don't even understand that. So that was never really paid. So it's never paid, and the so-called reservations that they talk about today is what we call projects. A lot of people don't understand. So when it comes to the other reservations, it's just reservations from what they, just no different than a base, that's built, in a heartland of somewhere that's been, people can constantly.
It's really like borrowed to them. It's like honestly, it's really like they are allowed to live there, but it's never going to be there. That's truly how it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, because they put their casinos on it, they have their people there, but it's never going to be there. They say it's there, but it's not, because do you remember when COVID took place and they allowed them to cross over into the they allowed them to cross over into the Native American reservations, and they said that no, they didn't want that because of the high alarming rate of COVID, and then how those Native Americans ended up getting COVID because they allowed them to go through there.
gotta also know too, a lot of that stuff that they speak of and put out there is all smoke screen and mirrors. So even with that whole situation that you mentioned, it's just another way of promoting white privilege and have and what have don't do not have. And the fact that so many people fell for and went to certain situations, and the same people who got the COVID today or got the shot is infected. You gotta understand too that all this stuff has just been a reverse to really get you to perverse, your body, your mind, and whatever else.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a representation of what you think is actually yours was never actually given to you.
Yeah.
It was basically a loaner for you to be quiet and to say that we really compensated you, but we actually did not, because at any point we can come through and we can do what we want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the whole term of compensation too.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta think. Most people don't understand that when it comes to compensation, it's only what is current. That's why they call it currency. So what's actually compensation? Because somebody today could say, hey, compensation is in the form of digital currency, which is not really feasible at all in the real world. It's only something in the digital world that can be shut off and hacked or something like that. So it's not really a safe zone for anyone to really, I would say square around, because you have to think, you need, when you really think of what you really have and what is owed to you, it's in the root, it's in the land, and it's in the air, it's in the water. And that stuff is, it's a stronghold that they don't want to let go. In some places, they won't even let you see. And, they build a whole town right next door to it where you can't even look anymore. A fairy tale world going on in the television screen. So you sit right next to it and don't even know what you're doing, or don't know what's there. So that's how blind most people become.
That's true. And when you think of compensation, is it really fair anyway? Is it really paying you what you really deserve?
There you go.
Compensation.
That's the whole term right there. You look into that yourself. What is compensation? It's just a cop out or something like that. It's something that it's something, because first of all, think of something like that's given to you for free. For instance, like your lungs or something, or maybe your arm or leg is for visual. Somebody take your arm and leg and say, hey man, I give you $50 million. You may want that $50 million, but how handy is that $50 million going to be to where you're not missing a whole arm?
It's not worth it to me.
It won't be worth it at all, because here you are with no hand, no arm, or something that is God-given. I say God-given, I mean it's a term of free.
I was born with it, and I've always had it, and now I've lost it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that can comp for that. Nothing can comp for that.
Because I don't know if y'all saw on the news recently, I'm probably getting off on a tangent here, but there's a guy that served 28 and a half years in prison, and that they said because
Malcolm X?
Is right.
Is that the one that they claim to have killed Malcolm X?
No. They said he killed someone, but because he it didn't fall under a certain category, he did not qualify for compensation. That his 28 and a half years was just, he just a victim of circumstance.
Wow.
He did not qualify for compensation.
Wow.
But that's just, that's a prime example right there of what's really going on in the world. And a lot of people don't realize that started with the whole World War I, World War II, Buffalo Soldier, Vietnam Soldier, and all that, to where you is equal in, everything. But they discriminating and you doing grunt work, and you building, you clearing, you like, I'm putting, several different things. So, that's,
I'm equal when I'm on the battlefield and I'm fighting for the good of America, but I'm not equal when it's time to compensate. We're separate.
Absolutely.
That's how that tells me.
Absolutely. You got to also know too, because that, as you just said. I'm going to, as you just said.
Yeah. So that's the issue that I have with this thing is, I mean, it's clear that slavery did take place. We all know it did, no matter how much you try to take it out of the textbook. It's clear that it did happen. So reparations.
I would say, you know, and I don't, you know, me personally, when it comes to that type of words, slavery and all that stuff, yeah, I understand what it's wrapped up to be, but in reality, it's not just that. You know, there's so much more around it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not just slavery and what we told, more of a conquering mindset of the people. You know,
because it just recently exposed that we had some people in Georgia that did not know that they were free. They still were on plantations and stuff. I mean, and this was just recently exposed a couple years ago. That they were still living as slaves, living in plantation houses.
People still, anybody who makes a movie, you ask me, that portrays that type of lifestyle is actually living still in slavery. So, you know, we have to think people do that all the time. I mean, these stage plays and all that stuff, people have a real sick fetish for it. But like I said again, these are images that are brand new. You know, they're not.
When you honestly are in slavery, when you don't search your history and you believe what everybody else says, you're enslaved to certain things anyway. You're enslaved to certain things that you don't
in the mind. Yeah.
You think about it, your mindset. You're enslaved to thinking that killing is the right thing to do when you go out here and you kill innocent people. When you think about it, a lot of people are enslaved, still enslaved. The mentality hasn't changed.
And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and highlight some of a few people for this last day of Black History Month. I'd like to highlight. Let me see. So, who I'm looking at now is the street letter boxes. Y'all know them little U.S. postal boxes used all over the world, was invented by a Black American man by the name of Philip Downing. He also invented a switch to supply or cease power to trains, which would later lead to the invention of the light switch. So those little blue postal boxes that you guys see outside, that's by him. I also want to go ahead and highlight Mrs. Sarah Good. We all have slept on and used a sofa bed before. Did you know it was invented by a Black American woman, Sarah Good, the second Black woman to receive a U.S. patent, invented the cabinet bed. Her invention is still used today worldwide. We're going to also highlight, let me see here. And by the way, I'm looking at all of this information through Gregory Marcel Dixon's page. He really pushes. Taking the elevator used to be quite dangerous until a certain Black American man came along. Alexander Miles invented the automatic elevator. Alexander Miles.
Wow. I didn't know. That's good stuff. I didn't even know that.
And then, do you have a love for video games? Because
Batman.
Yes, invented the world's first video game system that allowed for interchangeable cartridges, as do today Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and much more. This young man goes by the name of, I see his picture up here. See his name? Pardon. It's a lot on here. Let's go with the fax machine, touch tone phone, call waiting, caller ID, and fiber optics all have one thing in common. Dr. Shirley Jackson, a Black American woman, did the research that led to all of them. Shirley Jackson. So yeah, Moving right along, in support of Black History Month, I want y'all to tell me about a few family incentives. Name a few. So with that, it's more like we don't reach out and we have the attitude of I'm not going to speak to this person in my family because he or she has done this to me and 20 years has passed. And what's wrong with this picture? Exactly. There is no picture. There's no picture. The family doesn't even know each other. And the cousins and the siblings, the nieces, the nephews, they suffer. We place our own gap and curses unintentionally because of our own stubborn ways. Have we gotten that emotional and sensitive to the point where we allow years to pass in order to prove no point? So I wanted to put this out because I want to know what are some family incentives that you guys put in place within your family that maybe we can put in ours here in the community because we need to get that back going. I do see the barbecues happening. I do see, I love to see the family reunions with the shirts and everything. That's super duper cool. But what other things can we do to start getting that momentum back again?
There you have it.
Maybe start praying with each other.
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
Praying is one thing, but quit playing with each other is another.
That's true. Boundaries. You're right about that. Boundaries. We don't set boundaries with one another, and that's how we step up each other's toes. Clear boundaries.
I love that one too.
Go back to the golden rules. Go back to the golden rules. Look in the mirror, whether you like what you see or not. Do your best to smile, and then you treat everyone else as that most important person on the planet. You can't interfere with that.
Yeah.
If you don't like it being done to you, don't you think I like it being done to me? Because I don't. Those boundaries. Do not bring up things. If you have an issue with me, you can talk to me to the side.
Yes.
You do not need to embarrass me in public.
Yes. Yes.
Because what do we hate? Number one, being embarrassed.
Right. And to add to what Mika said, forgiveness. Forgiveness and the ability to move forward. We as a people, I mean, we dwelling on some things that happened 10, 15 years ago, and we see our family, the whole movement, the momentum, the family photos, everything just dissipate. Um, Forgiveness and the ability to move forward. When was revenge yours? Revenge is nobody's. And where can we place our displaced and misplaced anger? Our displaced and misplaced anger. We have this certain level of well, she better not bother me. She better not come over here. I know she ain't. No. We all got it in us. We all got it in us. But that is the flesh. And that is something that we have to fight every day to ensure that we don't push that out all out in the world, much less our own family members.
Because we all know we have them extra family members. And you know what? We have to learn how to meet each other where they're at. We know that some people, they have been this way for years. And you know what? The odds of you changing them, I don't see that happening. They've been that way for 40 years. And you know what? You got to treat them as what they are.
I like it.
So you know what? If you already know that they have the ability to take you there, hey, Auntie, you know what? It's good to see you. Give me that hug, and I'm going over here to see such and such. That's how you got to do. Because you already know that Auntie come with some mess. You can love her from across the street.
I love it.
And sometimes it got to be like that because you know what? We all know how she is. She love to embarrass you, but how do you deal with a situation like that? You don't let Auntie embarrass you. You keep on moving. Auntie, you know I love you this fight. and keep it moving.
Because what we're
She's still
losing.
your elder, right? She's still your elder. So that's how you got to do it. Because she's messy and she always have been messy.
And you mentioned a good point too. Her being your elder does not necessarily mean that she is always right. It just means that
That's
she is
right.
in a different time zone. She has not the growth or the maturity, or God is not done with, or something of that nature is just not there yet. But you have to, even if you are the younger party, you can still show her, when they go high, we go low. When they go low, we go high, however it might go, but understanding our culture and our backgrounds and how we are trying to embed our family with betterment, being able to push that auntie off to the side, that like you said, that auntie has been doing that stuff for years. She gonna say something to try to, oh, you got on that, oh, I know you ain't wearing that. Oh, here come, what's her name again? She 14 and pregnant. Okay, that's a blessing. Stop making these kids. And I don't mean to put it out there like that. Don't get me wrong, but I do not. Once the deed has been done, don't make these children feel less than and more less than, to the point where they shut down and they feel like they can't speak to nobody. And
It's already done, so you can't become crazy. But what I'm saying is, and it's already done. So talking about it, I mean, what's that gonna do right now? Just deal with it.
yes, ma'am.
But like I say, at some point you're gonna have to have that conversation with Auntie and let her know, listen, Auntie, I love you with everything in me, but you don't have to quit embarrassing me. I love you. I don't do that to you, and I appreciate it that you don't do that to me. And that's it. You can talk
Communicate.
with love and truth. And once she get about herself, I guarantee she's gonna do better. Who cares if she talks somebody else and talk about it? So you already know that's what she do.
And then
And maybe they'll tell her that she needs to stop it.
here's the thing: we at the reunion, and we all only see each other once a year because everybody now is scattered all over the states. We in different countries. So how are we keeping up and holding on to our traditions, our cultures, our values, our morals, our backgrounds, our family tree, the wholesomeness of our family? We as a people need to continue to figure out how we're going to discuss this family tree from top to bottom, from the rooter to the tutor. And we have to maintain those records. So how are we maintaining our records?
Yeah, and that's why I said mutual respect goes a long way. And you have to realize some people just ain't gonna never have no respect. So you know what? Hey, you gotta take that key as it is and move on.
I love it.
I got some people like that, and I'm sure y'all do.
Oh
So you
yeah.
know what? Hey,
Oh
you
yeah.
take that Robitussin and you keep on moving. No consequences at the end of the day.
I love it. I love it.
That's how I do.
James, you got something to put out there on what some of the things that you're gonna try to like do, this year, next year, to just like disregard, and all of the friction points and all of the noise, and just be able to sit still and enjoy your family. Just be blessed with your family. And that does mean blood and non-blood and friends and all of that, because they family too. Those who you consider family, should I say.
James on the other end. Hey, my brother.
Hello. Blessings.
I know that's right. My brother from a different mother. Greetings.
But we're gonna move on to were you going to finish up with that, with this conversation? Come on, move on to the last big one for the night.
Okay, go ahead.
Systematic trends that seems to have no solutions. So this is about having the issues within our communities, as we all just discussed. We discussed several issues just now. So we went through um, Black business. We went through teachers being disrespected by students and being pounded down by students. We went through We haven't gone through systematic racism. That's something that's daily. Um, the violence, the drugs. There's like this new drug out right now that they're telling us to be aware of. I don't even know what it is. Hold on, if I can recall. It's like a zombie drug. That's something that we need to like take heed to. Like you got to start checking these kids, and we got to have these conversations with these kids. But systematic trends that seems to have no solutions, and we've been going through these trends um for years. Oh, hold on. I wanted to show you guys this one thing. Where is this lady at? And she came out with this and but yeah, James, talk to me about systematic trends that seems to have no solution.
Well, he's doing a good job on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just try to share this last little bit of my share screen, and then we're gonna close it up and wrap it
I think
up
what
and
you were
pray.
on earlier when you were saying something about the school and all the kids and all, there's a lot of trends that too going on. Like I said, most people don't, all this running, hitting people and doing something.
Hold on. This was it right here. I wish I don't know. I wish I could show this. So check this out, y'all. I hope I can show it properly. So this was in 2019. This lady by the name of Makia Little, and it's still going on today. She ran, I guess, for the candidate for delegate 19th district, and so she was doing helping her daughter with her homework or studying for an exam, and the exam question pretty much had her in shock because there is no way the way we teach our children at home she would be able to answer, her daughter would be able to answer that, which means that her daughter will get that answer wrong on the test simply because of what she's teaching at home. You understand what I'm saying? And she is absolutely right. She is a scholar. She's a HSBC graduate. She has all the credentials, and she know what right looks like. So at the end of the day, when I seen this, I think I seen this on Ricky Smiley Instagram page. So yeah, go back on there, and though it's done in 2019, it's still true and valid today. So listen to what she's saying. So let me just say right here, hands down, I commend this lady for maintaining her composure, for her entire demeanor, her character, her look. She came up in there, she articulated herself like nobody's business. She went from the rooter to the tutor, and she is so calm, and she's poised, and she's respectful, and she has an issue. And as a woman, this is how we need to be carrying ourselves. That's how.
I got a lot to say about that.
Okay.
I have a very lot to say. It's off of that comment alone. As I said, when you see optics is everything, like you just said. When people look into, I look at someone, they see that they know what they're doing. You know, they look and see that the person's character already, just on the way they appear. First, they may not be what they are, but they appear differently than they are. So you already have to see a lot of that. You also have to listen to what they're saying. Yeah, she may be sounding like an advocate for black people or black children. You're not necessarily understanding what child she's talking about. You know, she's claiming to be black, but don't necessarily know her history already. She's already talking about African American, so she doesn't know her history. So you got to also understand the smoke and mirror tactics that's been thrown right there in your face. She tells you exactly who she is and what she's working for. She's working for the so-called beast, you know, and then she's also telling you she's a CIA agent, or she works for the CIA. So just like any, I hate to say this, but just like any white boy, whenever you notice you see a white boy, especially if he has a black woman, he always is a black woman with that particular look. A black woman who black man wants, the one with no weed, little braids, and that particular look. So don't think she is even. I mean, you got the optics is one thing, but the job title says a whole other. And even though she says one thing about what she does in the department, I don't believe nothing she says because.
But sir, even if she was the school cafeteria lady, what she's saying, I need you to touch me at the surface here.
I'm hearing what she said. She just said exactly what her department does. She said she works for the CIA, and she says that if you backtrack what she said exactly what she does backwards.
Okay, never mind what she said. Never mind what she said. What about her point?
What is the point?
Her point is she was assisting her child with homework.
Well, check this out, right? That sounds all well and fine. But what we need to do as a community, if she's such an educator, she's such a brainiac, she needs to get with 100 more or 1,000 more of the same type of females, especially in her race, and put a system together to teach the child or teach children, period, pre-existence of whatever. You know, black men can come and help out and facilitate. Instead of looking for the white man to be the principal, the white woman to be the assistant principal, and we walk underneath them.
But here's the thing.
Part of the board of education, this and third. So maybe she can make a change in that department, but she's not going to make it in the state.
Sir.
Because she keeps mentioning education.
But sir, what she's trying, her main point is, it's not even. It's actually, I said wrong. She's not assisting her with homework. They're studying for an exam that would elevate the child to the next grade level. So that's like if. Hold on, sir. That's like if.
But what I'm trying to say is she had her own understanding of life. And we had more women together teaching our children, their own children. And, you know, communion in the community and putting that stuff together, we wouldn't have to worry about that type of stuff because you are teaching and you organizing, but that's the stuff that you need to be doing. instead of complaining about it, focus on how can we be that so-called phoenix that she's rising out to be, or her name and all of that. That's well and all. But at the same time, we don't need more powerful women. We need women to be soft and trying to educate and be parents. I mean, be, nurturing the child.
Sir, may I interject, please? Can I just say one thing? Let's just say she doesn't want to be an at-home mom. And let's say, home, sir.
We don't need an at-home mother. We don't need that.
Okay.
That's when we fail already.
Sir.
Think of the at-home. Let me explain something real quick. I'm saying this, I'm gonna because that's the problem. When most people think of the at-home woman, they have a visual of a white woman, Little House on the Prairie. The white woman sit there, and a white man, something like that. That's the visual. But in reality, a community takes two.
Sir.
We need to be together.
I understand what you're saying, and you're talking more of the broader picture, the bigger picture. But we're talking more so right now, they're studying for an exam. If I'm teaching my child that, the Crayola box, has 4 rows, and you're in this one row, and then they go to school and they learn that the Crayola box has 7 rows and I belong in the middle row. Then when they take the test and the multiple choice questions are, the Crayola box has, you understand what I'm saying? So at this point, it does, because that's why our children are failing in the education system, because the mindset of what we're teaching them at home, which is to be right, because I am an educator and I am educated. So what I'm teaching at home is to be right. And what they're teaching in the school system is a 360-degree turnaround. Then something's off, because when that child goes sits for that test, it's only that child and that test and that paper and that pencil. And that's it. When that child turns in that test and that test is less than a 65.
Calm down for a second. I'm done. But that's the number one problem with all learning. Number one, everyone else keep trying to get someone else to teach somebody else, but they're supposed to teach you. Number two, you keep on looking for education and not understanding of indoctrination, and not understanding that you need to have more of a creation or creative mind. You need to learn the fundamentals and basically what is current and as far as organic, and the rest of the everything else is flowing to you. You can't look to be a slave or a conquered people looking for the master to teach your children. That's ridiculous. Of course, we're going to trade and be something else. That's just common sense. So that means you need to have you need to go to people with more common interest than you do, at the same level you are, and look to that. Quit looking to be next to Becky and think she's going to treat your little teacher like Tabitha or something. It's not going to happen. You got to think to yourself and show the beauty in all of that. So even when it comes to the box that you mentioned, the crayons, right? You explain to people that the crayons, for instance, we talk about crayons, we only talk about hue. Hue is what means, that's the first word of color. You know what I mean? So hue is all of these colors. That's part of the thing that the children learn. They should be looking for crayons, whatever makes sense, looking at the gray, the different spectrums of light or whatever. And that's how you get into it. And you point out the value of each one.
Yes, sir.
Especially their role, because they're the one who has you.
Meek, do you have anything to add? And is it possible you can close us out with prayer?
I was just sitting here thinking that, when we teach kids, we know that there's a curriculum, and we have a choice if we choose to homeschool our children. Now, the only issue that I have with homeschooling is that the lack of interaction between children. That's the issue I have with homeschooling children.
Let me say that, like I was just saying. That's what I was talking about right there, because that's all school is. People don't understand that school is a system the kids in their district or their so-called communities, pull the same kids from the community. Just imagine if the mothers of those communities got together, the same way they give educated kids to school, and did some training and some teaching of their own. You know, that gives them more of a role to play in society. And as far as currency that we know of will change overnight. Because all of the big funds and all of the big spending they give to the school will stop. Because now they say, hey, we got something more valuable or something more to the future. You see what I'm saying? So they understand that. So that's why they stop and prevent the you know, the talking to certain people, you know, because last night go to certain people that nobody speaks, but they go to other people that everybody speaks because they have common interests and they have common goals and they look for that nature. You know, to other people it's just, it's like a bunch of single people, so they looking in competition right now. They're looking for this, they're looking for that. So it's not like they got the common interest, you know what I mean? So that's the whole thing.
Because I know over where I live at, I live in a community of educators, and what I do find is that they have they go and they have a building. It used to be an old daycare, but they rent this building, and they have like 20 students that they homeschool, but they have computers. They have all this set up, and it's black and white. It's like a military community that I live in, but they have all nationality of children, and they go by the tested curriculum, and they just teach them there. And so they're there at the same time that homeschool kids go there. They have recess like everybody else, and this is just what they choose to do with the kids. And so, do I think that it's a problem? No, I don't, if that's what you choose for your child. But I do find that children that do go to public school, that they're well adjusted to different aspects of life. They're more social.
And you gotta know too, like I said, that's one thing. But what are we trying to? What are we doing? What are we building? We're creating what do people call it, a greeter for Walmart? You know, we try to do something different. See, they already have all this stuff set up for the elderly. You know, things like they already have all that stuff set up. So you want to, like recess, for instance. You mentioned recess. A lot of people don't understand that recess. You know, when you look into the word into recess, and that's the number one thing that children love, but it's the number one thing that schools need. And as far as children go, because, when you look into the word, I think it's called recreation. So you're recreating yourself. So when children go out there for recess alone, something to where they actually have the ability to, everything that they so-called learned in school, now they can download it in normal terms. They can use what they learned and pick up a rock and a stick and go back to whatever they want, naturally. That's something that's been taken out of school because they don't want children reprogramming, recreating things. So they keep them at a level of almost zombie.
The Jackie Robinson program, the Boys and Girls Club, all those good programs that was out there.
I like those programs.
But see, those programs, again, like I said, those are good programs for certain people. But those are actually the worst programs for certain people too. You see what I'm saying?
Why do you think?
Because you have a thing too, for instance, if Boys and Girls Club or some type of foster program or something like that, those are made for single individual women. So therefore, an easy ticket. You know what I mean? So, a woman.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
she got two kids.
Income based.
Yeah, income based. She can't live. She needs free help. She needs to go. So they know all of that stuff. They prepare for all that stuff. I mean, do what they can to help you get out the way so they can do what they want. So,
no, I disagree with you, sir, because I was a part of both programs.
Well, and again, you're female. You talk most of the people don't look for little girls.
It taught me individuality. It taught me team. It taught me teamwork. It taught me math. science, double dutch, step team. It taught me motivation. It taught me, yeah, increase in oneself, self-esteem.
Good for one thing, you also probably had your mother and father, did you not?
Yes.
I did.
Exactly. Actually, so I said your mother and father. I said those are made up for. See, the mother and father married couple is a prototype to get the single woman to want to come. Because once they see the happy family, they're going to come and think everything's happy family. They're going to be treated like a happy kid, happy family. But they don't realize that you come there or step down from a happy family. You're actually a broken family. You step in there as a broken family, looking for daycare or something of that nature, and it doesn't turn out the way you think because you're already broken. So therefore, you're easily vulnerable. You're more vulnerable than a woman like yourself who had both their parents. So therefore, you can learn double dutch. You can learn math. You can learn stuff. While you're learning all of that, someone else is being tortured and taken out the back somewhere. You know. And
with that being said, James.
That's you don't have to believe me. That's an actual proof to that. You know, you can look this up on several documents or however, you can go to the history of the YMCA or all that. This is true fact. While your kid or while you are being played with, someone is being kidnapped. That's the Sean ponytail, you know. Nine times it's never who you think either. 9 times it's a woman and a child. And they come, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Same situation. So you look for an evil man, 9 times out of 10, what you was taught is an evil black man.
A woman.
And it's a white man and a white woman. Or some, you know, some foreigner. Never the ones in the community.
I mean, that's true. That's a possibility. You know, because I don't put anything past anybody, you know. It's just my mom was, you know, my mom and dad, they didn't play those things with us. So, you know, I'm not going to debate with it. That could be true. Just like now, things could be true.
And that's what you got to understand. They had a system. They had something that was talking about the foster care system the other day. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of stuff that's being done today is mainly because of that stuff. You know, all these new laws that, you know, I mean, you should hear some of the laws today, you know, just off of stuff that, you know, so when someone says you can't beat a child because someone else overstepped their boundaries. It got nothing to do with you itself. It's like, you know, even with child support, you know, that whole, even though, birth control situation where they said, you know, birth control or abortion. You know, I mean, babies are killed from abortion, but that's illegal. But it's only made over a lie. You know what I mean? It's made because a white woman said a black man raped her. And they were like, oh no, we have to figure a way to get rid of the baby. So that's what was exercised until law a way to kill a black baby if he ever thinks about, you know, a black man's baby if he ever decides to mess with a white woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to caveat off of what you said. I'd like to commend whoever it was in the state of South Carolina that turned in the baby last week or last week and a half. Daniel's Law baby. Good job. Good job. I commend you, whoever you are.
In a baby?
Yes. And I think they turned it into the hospital, I believe, or left them somewhere safe and sound. So that is a good.
You know what? I say whoever that baby belongs to, that really makes me sick because you understand something too. And the fact that women, you know, it really goes to the woman. You know, you can say what you want about the man all you want, but women have the opportunity to abort a baby, you know, kill a baby at birth. Even when the baby's born, they can almost kill them. But at the same time, you know, you have the option to throw them away, give them to a foster system or something like that.
Use that option. Use that option because that child is somebody.
Man has no option. Man has no option because most of the time, most men, most respectable men anyway, are married in the first place before they even have a child. You know what I mean? So when you think like that, you're already married in the first place. But if you so happen to not be married, you accidentally get somebody pregnant, She can go all the way through. You can't say, "Hey, woman, I want you to kill that baby.
Mm.
I don't want to abort my child. I want to abort it." You know, it's just, even though it's your child, it's 90% more yours than hers than ever. But at the same time, it's like, then it becomes a game of the court system. That's where the basketball comes in. They play the ball with your child, not even understanding what y'all doing.
I agree with you. I think there should be some type of, if a man does not want a child and the woman does, I think that there should be some type of consent
right off
that he gives up his parental rights.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
see, that's where we fail right there. See, you gotta go into these words. Think about parental. That sounds like a single person shit. There's no such thing as a parental.
Because some people are
you understand in general. There's no such thing as when they say parental, that means parent. That's that white woman talk. Basically telling you don't have no control of your child. It's telling you in your face you're only renting your child. You're not. First off, most people don't even, they say you're a pair. That means you have a baby daddy. That means you're not married. So you're a pair. You're a pair renting a child. I ain't no one's pair. I ain't renting no child. You know what I'm saying? And that's so much more to that is what I'm saying. But that's what we fail already.
Well, the main point of the situation is the young lady turned in the baby, and the baby was safe. The baby is healthy, and the baby is strong. And
let me ask you about the baby being turned in. Was it her baby or was it?
It was her. It was her baby, but it was a teen. I think she's a teenager. I think she's a young lady, or within her 20s at least. I didn't read the full story on it, but I know it happened last week, and so I know the week before that we was talking about abortion, and so I was just caveating off of the week prior because we discussed abortion in somewhat shape or form. And so when we say, like, look, just go ahead and have the child, go ahead and have the child and leave the child somewhere safe. And everything else will be taken care of from there. That was the main portion of the topic few weeks back. But then I realized the very next week someone turned in the baby. So I think that was, a great thing. God is working. Even if this podcast just touched one person on any part of the matter it is that we discuss, then
I feel a different type of way about that whole situation.
James,
did she leave it somewhere and somebody claimed it?
Yeah, I think she brought it to a hospital.
Oh, okay, so she willingly gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you had found me. I would have took it.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'd erase it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Same here.
And, I'm not praising no woman for no crap like that.
James.
And I be goddamn, that woman needs to be locked up, humiliated, put on public. Not the case. See, that's a problem. We put too much doubt and too much ignorance into the females. The job is to raise. You see what I'm saying? We can't sit back and say you can't raise. How can you not raise? You can raise everything given to you.
If you're put in a
you're not in no cage.
A place.
You have everything you need.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I did want to leave out.
I want to say that.
I did want to leave out with this on TD Jakes. And I received a business highlight today, so I'm very thankful for it. And so with that, this is what he was saying. I like that. I like that. Praise God. Thank you, Father God. Tamika, you want to go ahead and try to take this prayer away? Just something short and sweet. Thank you.
Okay. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for coming together for this session. We thank you for the knowledge and the wisdom that you've empowered each and every one and the people from the sound of our voice that can hear us. And we pray that it has helped someone in their reasoning or questions that they may have. Lord, we just thank you, Lord, and to bless each and every one that was on this panel today that gave their advice, their experiences, and their input. Yes, Lord, we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. We thank you. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. You guys have a great and blessed one, and we will see you back here. If not Thursday, definitely Sunday.
Maybe Tuesday.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. It was fun. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Listen.